incredible part is like, this is the start of another year. You know what I mean? I'll likely use this clip right here in the spring year in review, October 29th, day 1 of skiing, and it's snowing. Super stoked, 1 run open, a basin. Let's go.
For those who remember, the season before last was arguably one of the best ski seasons that any and all of us will ever experience in our life. Some places like Alta got upwards of 900 inches of snow, so I feel like going into last year, it was easy to kind of be jaded into how much snow we should have, what the conditions should be like. And while last season did not see the snowfall that we saw the year before, it was still an incredible season filled with soft snow, fresh POW, and much more. This is the second installment of my season in review video, which kind of attempts to take the season and kind of wrap it all together, kind of tie a nice bow on it and present it as, you know, the experience of the whole ski season. I think it's kind of easy to be lost in the individual days and like kind of segments of the season, but when you look back at it, a season isn't defined just by one day or a storm or anything like that, but kind of, you know, how did you feel at the beginning of the year? How did you feel at the end of the year? Kind of what happened in the journey along the way. One of the main differences with this year compared to the year before, other than the snowfall, was that there wasn't as much travel outside of the state of Utah, but I do feel like my skiing was the best it's ever been, and I think a lot of the sort of experiences in the year were characterized by a higher level of skiing on my end, and just an overall comfort level that I didn't really have before, that I think helped push myself and my skiing to a new level. Now, as you guys are familiar with, October and November is usually filled with opening days. We started skiing just before Halloween, which is always a good sign to be able to touch snow. And we ended up doing 8 different opening days in Colorado and ultimately 7 opening days in Utah. One of the things that I struggled with early in the season was new boots. I transitioned from a 3-piece Dalbella boot to a 2-piece Solomon boot, which was a little bit stiffer. But early in the year, those first kind of 14 ski days, my feet were just absolutely killing me. I had custom footbeds made. I had kind of custom fitting done to them, but just the break-in process, particularly around the heel pocket and stuff like that, took me a good while.
Not sure if you guys can really see this bump on the back of my heel on the camera. It's right there. It seems to be a pretty big bone bruise on both of my ankles here, or my heels. So I just got some snow in a bag for the meantime. And my plan is to ice these tonight, so hopefully tomorrow they feel a little bit better.
But to be able to experience all different types of opening days, about 2 weeks of living in the van in a Walmart parking lot or something of the like, trying to survive the freezing temperatures, editing, skiing, and just sort of anything else in between is really how the early season typically begins. One of the experiences that stuck out with me during our initial sort of opening day binge was the Copper Mountain opening day, where I kind of was approached to do a little photo shoot and also a little video shoot, and it was just kind of cool to experience the progression of myself as a skier and stuff like that and see it through someone else's lens.
Patrick?
Yeah, Lucas, what's up, dude?
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. You're on the vlog.
I'm on the vlog,
yeah.
shit. I like to do a few laps of me doing like follow cam with you with this guy, and then do a few where like I will go down like, say 30 seconds ahead of you and then get you coming through.
Hey, chance, we got like an actual camera. I got a proper camera in the back. I'm a videographer. Do you want a shot?
What kind of camera you have?
A7R5.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
What's your name?
Frank.
Frank, I'm
Nice
Lucas.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
early season, kind of high elevation Colorado time is always really exciting for me. Not only do you get some good skiing in, but it's also a great time that I use to basically get my edges back underneath me, work out kinks with my gear and stuff like that before the snow really starts falling and more mountains in the west start to open up. Now, after nearly 20 days on snow, Alta opening day happened on November 25th, and this was like our first, like, I'm gonna call it kind of a powder day, but more importantly, kind of like a predecessor of what was to come, kind of foreshadowing for the rest of the season.
I was just watching your video yesterday about like Park City and stuff.
Yeah?
Did you bring the big skis, the 116s?
I brought the 116s, yeah.
Oh,
What'd you bring?
I brought the my faction. It's just 98.
Okay, what's your name?
Beckham.
Beckham?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
You said you've already done like 15 days this year?
This will be my 20th ski day.
And just the fact, like that first feeling of skiing fresh snow, getting a face shot, like not just dealing with man-made snow in like one run, it's incredible. It really is sick. And so to have that as an opening day experience is just pretty wild. So November 25th was kind of like, okay, things are starting to kick into gear a little bit, a few weeks on snow, and then to be greeted with some fresh snow and stuff like that, just all around pretty sick as the anticipation of the season continued to build. After the Alta opening day, we continued our opening day hunt with things like Deer Valley. I think we did Brighton opening weekend, some sort of Solitude opening weekend, Snow Basin opening weekend. And it was just, again, fun to go to these different mountains and be a part of sort of their kickoff as the season began.
Wow, that was a pretty impressive save. I'm not gonna lie. I just popped out one ski and I saved that.
But if you remember, early last year was like, I almost want to use the word dry. Like there was some, you know, of course, concerns of like, oh my God, there's no snow in Utah. It's November, early December, and we still haven't had snow and all this sort of stuff. And again, especially compared to the year before where like hell, Thanksgiving weekend, I think we were skiing Jupiter and stuff like that. So it was just like kind of keeping it in perspective compared to an absolutely astronomical snow year, I think was important to enjoy and not kind of get your experiences skewed or twisted. But the first week of December is really where things started to heat up a little bit, and we were greeted with kind of the first sniffs of our real powder days, and just, in my opinion, the stuff that I love about Utah skiing. I think it was December 3rd, we had our first powder day at Alta. It wasn't like anything mega deep, but it was really that first day, in my opinion, where it was complete whiteout up in Little Cottonwood Canyon early.
I am literally waiting at the parking lot of Alta for them to open the parking lot. Don't want to jump the gun here, but I drove up Little Cottonwood this morning really early just to beat the crowds and everything like that. And the snowbird reported 13 inches in the last 12 hours. So I think it's going to be pretty epic.
You know, fresh snow, gnarly conditions, and it just kind of signified, like, kind of brought back that feeling of winter when the days are super short and it's so socked in and almost like never even really gets fully bright out. I mean, if you've done it, you know exactly what I mean. And for me, that December 3rd day was kind of what that represented. Really cold, all that sort of stuff. So to have a little POW day up in Alta, Little Cottonwood, at the time, nowhere else really was getting snow. So early in the season, Little Cottonwood was the place to be. But perhaps the day that really set it off was the December 8th POW day at the Bird.
It's the official snow report here from Snowbird, 24 hours, 15 inches, about a 47-inch base, 131 inches so far. But it is supposed to be very cold today, high winds. Summit, you can see 4 degrees, so very cold, but that should mean that the snow is very, very dry, very light. Cam is still on hold because of wind. Dude, look at this. Oh my God. Dude, look at this. So yeah, the plan is to go over to the Gat Valley until the tram opens up. If it opens, it is kind of windy, but that's the plan.
I think there was literally like 18 trails open, and we essentially just skied like the Gad Valley area. I don't even think the tram was open at this point, but however we scored on that, it was so deep, one of those like just real full, I don't even want to say bottomless because there was still some thin coverage, but it just felt bottomless. It kind of skied bottomless. And to do it with my dad, my, you know, Papa Joe, who's been such a huge advocate for me skiing. He's kind of really was the one who sparked my love for the bird in the first place. But
I mean, just really another just snowbird surprise day, man. It's deep everywhere. And it's interesting, for not a lot of terrain open, there's also not a lot of people, so the line is very manageable, and we're just spinning laps, man. That's all there is to it.
yeah, I kind of forgot to say the tram has been on hold all day, so there's basically one lift open. I mean, you could have used a 121 today.
Yeah.
Look at this, guys.
The wider the better, no question.
I feel bad that I'm getting POW days, and like a lot of the country doesn't even have snow yet. Just kind of getting that early December, like anytime before Christmas, you're getting a day like that, I think is just really invigorating. Oh, it's still so good. And to share it with my dad, it was just like pretty sick. So 2 sort of back-to-back early POW days in December up in Little Cottonwood. Doesn't really get much better than that. Dude. Bro. Wow. Fucking hard, dude. Wow. It's sick. Wow. Yeah, you too. Oh my God, dude. Bro. Wow. Fucking hard, dude. Wow. It's sick. Wow. After those incredible POW days, we had kind of a dry spell, I want to say, kind of for the rest of the month, but it was cool to ski different conditions. I know we skied like some twigs over on Thanes. I think we skied some gnarly stuff, just kind of gnarly hard stuff at Solitude, you know. We got to experience the new Eagle Lift opening at Solitude, which was cool. And we still managed to catch some soft snow in between, again, up at Snowbird and stuff like that. So it wasn't all bad, but I don't feel like we really had like some crazy juice coming in for the rest of December. But again, I think it's a realistic depiction and representation of what an average sort of normal ski season looks like.
It does look pretty gnarly from here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, I see.
See what I mean? I mean, you could. Yeah. You just got to be really precise.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Make a turn and then jump in.
That rock is still sticking up really high there on the high side of
so that. I think I might kind of jump and almost kind of not go into the pit, but just to the left of the tree.
That's good for you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to be with that tree up above.
Oh yeah! Woo! Haha! That was money. Also during this time, I got my boots sort of readjusted. I got them kind of finally fitted up after having all those days on them. I think it was good to go back to do it at Cool Sports and just sort of walk through the process. He blew out some more areas of the boot. And I think at this point was where I was really starting to feel a lot better with the boots. And I feel like I was starting to come into my own kind of with the boot and the ski together. And I definitely wasn't in the pain that I was in before. So kind of an important, you know, sub storyline throughout the year was the new boots and the challenge I had acclimating to them, because I feel like I don't do the best when I change my gear around and stuff like that, as you know, hence the Armadas on the wall. Once I find something, I kind of just stick to it. So changing the boots, which is kind of like the epicenter of your skiing, almost the nucleus of it, took me some time to adjust to, but in the end, I think with the help from Dude and stuff like that, really helped elevate my skiing and kind of position me in a good way as the season went on, if that makes sense. The end of 2023 and really the beginning of 2024 marks my most memorable, my most favorite sort of sequence of ski days of all last year. Kicking off just after the new year was the opening of the Jupiter chairlift at Park City Mountain. Jupiter is just one of my favorite zones of all time. It's one of the areas I'm most familiar with skiing. And so whenever this opens up for me, it's always kind of like almost a ritual in a sense of just like, yeah, the season is here. I kind of have this space where I can go ski if I just want to get some turns in or whatever. But typically to have that open up really after Christmas is late. I think there were some issues with the chair, you know, with chair maintenance and staffing stuff. So it opened up a little bit later than expected. And when we got up there on opening day, it was just cool to see Jupiter with as thin coverage as it was, to say, especially again, coming from last year where you were hitting tree branches that you never hit before because there was so much base, to then going to where stuff wasn't even covered was just kind of a cool, cool experience. I feel like I've really gotten to ski Jupiter in different conditions. And, you know, we even hit some sharks and just got the full sort of thin coverage, still almost early season type experience. Woo! Stump, log maybe. Whoa. Jeez, I think we're good. Dude, yeah. I gotta be honest. One, that's pretty sweet. But two, look what I hit. But shortly after that, the first POW day of 2024 came through at no other than Snowbird up in Little Cottonwood Canyon. Just one of those traditional low vis, cold blower type POW days that you just really can't pass up. It's like, as long as you're up in Little Cottonwood, as long as you're there, you are gonna score POW. So I don't think there was anything like super crazy, but I was on the White Walkers, just out there cruising. It was just one of those really rewarding, fun days. And yeah, just kind of kept the theme of this sort of POW back half type of the year. But if that wasn't already sick enough, I got to experience the most surreal, like no joke, the most surreal experience really of my life. And that was a trip that was sponsored and put on by the amazing folks over at Aspen Ski Company, Aspen Snowmass. Long story short, they invited me to come out. They put me up at the Limelight, which is a ski and ski out place right on Snowmass Village, organized first tracks, had all this, all this stuff going on, which was just, again, mind blowing that a company as prestigious as Aspen Snowmass would invite myself sort of to go out and showcase their mountain and their town and really put their trust and faith not only into myself, but the Stoke Squad, the channel, and my work as a filmmaker and skier was just, I don't know, it was very rewarding and nothing short of honorable to be able to take that up. So we spent really like 3 days or something out there, 2 days of skiing. The first day was at Snowmass, which is an incredible mountain. And they got us first tracks up there, which I went up at like 7:30 in the morning. There was a slight dusting of snow. Basically, I had the mountain to myself. On a weekday, a mountain as big as Snowmass, I was able to just go up to the mountain And yeah, it felt like no one was there. I remember it was so incredibly cold and I had so many face shots that my face was frozen, and it was like 8:30 in the morning. And I had to go inside and defrost a little bit because I was so cold after all that. But I was so hyped off the POW and the experience. I was like, yeah, we're doing this. So overall, it was just really rad to get the whole experience, from the ski in, ski out, to the food at the Limelight, to the incredible terrain and snow. And then to follow it up with day 2, where we were able to take the Audi that the Limelight provided over to Aspen Highlands. One of the coolest things to do as a skier, bucket list item, which is hike Highlands Peak and be able to ski that. I've done it before in the past, but every time you do it, it's just as profound, if not more, than the time before.
Just about as difficult as I remember it being, except last time I did it, there was sun and the views and everything like that, so it was a little bit more gnarly. It's so exposed, so you just got to be prepared for that. But overall, super rad. Felt good to sort of get up here, get air in the lungs at elevation, you could say. So I think I'm gonna try to go kind of right off the top, most elevation, most vertical, but it's gonna be very rocky. But very stoked, very excited. Typically you could see the maroon bells like right this way. So I was kind of waiting to see if some of these clouds would clear, but it doesn't look like it, but it's still beautiful, all the vistas sort of at the top here. So bucket list sort of thing if you find yourself at Highlands, just be prepared for it. And let's go. So
to be able to experience those 2 days at Aspen Snowmass, and yeah, just really kind of put our skiing back into Colorado for Aspen was really cool. But the crazy sequence does not end there, and after that, we were forecasted for more snow. You guessed it, up in Little Cottonwood Canyon, and arguably, I think it was the deepest POW day for me of the entire year.
Let me just show you so you guys know I'm not lying. 12 hours, they've got 12 inches. They've gotten 47 inches in the last week, and almost 200 inches today. It's supposed to be cold today, so some cold smoke.
It's hard to explain the excitement and the stoke that surrounds a POW day up at Snowbird. It doesn't matter what time of the week it is, anything like that. When you get a proper storm, it's really hard to beat. But I think what really made this the icing on the cake for me was kind of 2 things. One, I caught my first ever like real rope drop, meaning an area was closed and I was one of the first ones through when they opened the zone. So the zone was closed due to avalanche control, which means all of the 12, 13, 15 inches, no one has skied yet. So now Ski Patrol, through their hard work, has been able to open that zone up. They dropped the rope, meaning the area is open, and I was one of the first ones through.
We literally got first tracks down the cirque. What up, truck? Dude, this is nuts. I'm just gonna drop, dude. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, you too.
Thanks for the beta.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it. I
have a patroller I used to work with.
Okay. So the other side's open too, restaurant, Berry.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna do this and go back. I literally was getting off Little Cloud and they dropped the rope on the upper cirque. So first tracks down into just like, honestly, lower cirque. I didn't even try to get crazy with it. I'm just gonna drop here.
And got really just the deepest continuous stretch of snow that I've ever skied. I've had deep shots before, but I've never had such a deep, one sort of just turn after the other, continuous string of this like over my head POW turns. Hands up, higher, higher, higher. We raise our hands up to the sky. Higher, higher. We raise our hands up to the sky. Oh yeah. But obviously the day didn't stop there. There was more POW to be had, more skiing to be had. But what kind of wrapped the whole day up was, I think, meeting up with more Stoke Squad homies, more people out there. And at the end of the day, we had like a crew of 5 or 6 of us just skiing around, showing different zones, hitting different cliffs and rocks. And it just kind of really showed the, what's the right word for it?
What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good, same.
Have you been in
into Great Scott today?
I was just about to go do it.
Yeah, we're gonna hop in.
Yeah.
You wanna come?
Yeah, for sure. Showed how skiing brings people together, and at the end of the day, the joy that can be shared through something like skiing the mountains, fresh snow, was just kind of the only way to wrap up a day like that. So not only was it some of the deepest snow I skied, it was just really cool and rewarding to meet people and be able to ski that sort of stuff with other homies. Are you guys cutting like right?
Yeah, so it's like this bottom little thing.
Okay. What up, man? That's a way easier way to get in. What up, dude? Zach? No shit, dude. From Colorado.
What's up, man?
Let's go, dude.
So this is the double.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to my spot over there where that guy is.
Yeah, over there is super good like a day ago, so.
See
The
what?
whole area is good.
I see the first one. Where's the second one? Just right below it? Woo! Nice, dude.
Yeah, good shit.
Good job, Sam. That boy Zach! Yeah, buddy! Haha! That boy Trek! Yeah, let's get some fucking POW! Haha! Yeah! Yeah, that was sick, brother.
Yeah, dude. It's a good one.
Shit, man. That storm at Snowbird was really the beginning of like a 3, 4, 5 day storm cycle that hit the northern mountains of Utah. I think we had 80+ inches in certain areas, very high winds, and for a lot of the storm, places were closed down because avalanche danger was so high. There was so much snow, such heavy winds that basically is a perfect recipe for avalanches. But there was so much hype and anticipation around this because it was really like the first mega storm cycle of the season. We had kind of poked around during the storm. We were out during the storm, but again, not all areas were open, and it just, when it's storming that hard, sometimes it is difficult to actually ski and get proper runs in. But finally the storm passed and it was like, okay, it's here, let's go ski.
The Wasatch Mountains here in Utah had an incredible, really 3, 4, 5 day storm that dumped upwards of 80 inches of snow in Little Cottonwood Canyon, about 40 in Park City. But the biggest characteristic of this storm was the high winds. So because of the very high winds, not only was avalanche danger very high, but it made it very hard for resorts to open up terrain, from wind holds to just snow safety issues. So the storm was very difficult to ski.
The storm kind of showcased that really not all snow and storms are created equal. Yeah, on paper, it kind of sounded really sick. Tons of snow, you know, areas closed down for days, like it's gonna be so deep, oh my God. But again, it kind of proved the point that, you know, the high winds really changed how the snow skied. And so we went out the day after the storm and everything was like super wind blown. It was like, wow, we had 40 inches, whatever, in Park City, and you could barely like get it over your head. And so it was super important to building the base that we then skied on for the rest of the year. I don't think it was what people expected. So it was, for me, it was more, you know, just another learning lesson being in the mountains and stuff like that, where, you know, there is more to it than just how much snow is gonna fall. How, you know, how dense is the snow? Is it Sierra cement? Is it super dry? Have there been lots of winds? Which direction is the wind been blowing? And kind of which aspect is that your slope or your zone facing at the time? All that sort of impacts the storm more than just, oh my God, they got 80 inches of snow. So kind of mixing that in there, that whole storm experience was pretty cool to live through. Straight line through those rocks out to the right. Whoa! Oh, I didn't see that little rock at the bottom. Oh, I need to go bigger on that. Oh, yeah! Woohoo!
what I needed is like a map of that zone.
Now at this point, you're kind of well underway in the season. I think we were coming into the early beginning of February, and I had about a week-long trip planned for British Columbia. Ever since I really got exposed last year to British Columbia, it's been one of those places that's like really just can't get out of your mind. I think the skiing up there is really next level, and does nothing but push yourself as a skier, both physically and mentally. So kind of went up to Golden, Colorado. Kicking Horse is a place that I really, really enjoyed my time at, but you also have Revelstoke just on the road as well. So kind of spent 3 days skiing Kicking Horse and Revelstoke, but at the time, the conditions were really poor up there in BC in the interior. It was very warm, not a lot of snow, and people were, you know, it was not somewhere that you would want to go, especially after how epic Utah was. But thankfully, the snow gods kind of held out, and we were greeted with some fresh snow, a little bit colder temperatures, but had a very, very intense, sick time up there in BC. I kind of made a whole mini film about the time up there. So a lot of times, even mountains like Snowbird and Alta, you feel safe, you feel like you're still a part of a mountain or a resort. But the few times I've been up into British Columbia, there's just sort of like this sense of controlled recklessness and almost like just sort of this feeling of just general lawlessness. I don't need to get super in depth in it, but Kicking Horse is just one of those places that really makes your hair kind of stand up. Like it's a very gnarly, characterized by steep shots, you know, lots of vertical, exposed ridge lines. It's kind of just like a very lawless type of place. So spent the time kind of picking ourselves through some areas, and then headed over to Revelstoke, which again is another very gnarly place. Had complete whiteout conditions, some fresh snow. So, you know, still taking the time to learn those areas and zones. As I get better as a skier, it's not somewhere that you want to just kind of blindly go drop into and get yourself cliffed out or something stupid. But those 3 days were pretty awesome. And I think what really impacted me and kind of took away from that was the confidence it gave me as a skier. I feel like I just kind of leveled up my skiing when I was there. It's like, I don't know, when you played Madden as a kid and you could like, you know, change one of your stats. You go from like 90 to 95 or something, whatever it is. I felt like that's kind of what I did with my skiing. And then when I came back to Utah, it really gave me the confidence. And I feel like my skiing kind of changed after that trip. I feel like I got stronger. I was able to charge harder, ski faster, and just all around more confident in my abilities on the mountain.
Can we go to our right, or is it only kind of where you went? What does it look like kind of around us?
You can go left and right of where I went, because I kind of did once I got in it. It's just those big knobs are actual rock cliff bands.
But left or right of them is skiable. The big knob to your right, kind of high right, that's got a sweet angled couloir right down through it with untracked snow.
All right, you're going to try to go to the skier's right of that big knob, and then you'll see an angled couloir. It's going to be beautiful.
Drop there, drop there.
Okay, dropping.
Let's go. Left, left, left. Straight down now. Yep, right down.
Oh, that was sick. Oh, wow. Wow.
That's legit.
Dude, that was.
Dude, I hit you.
That was a good few
yeah,
times.
I had you.
But that was.
Now, okay, now see the dark guy up there, the man walking in the black. See the big knob.
Oh yeah.
Okay, to the knob. You went to
through
the
there.
skier's right of that knob, and then you came down when I said 4 o'clock, and then you came right down that couloir at an angle, and then right straight down at us. You nailed it perfect. Was it pretty gnarly?
It was gnarly. I mean,
Yeah.
it's always.
But the snow was good, wasn't it?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone was in there.
No, it was untracked.
Yeah.
But you guessed it, we came back to Utah for some more powder skiing. There's basically another little segment of Deer Valley, Park City, Deer Valley. Not only was there just like 10, 12 inch typical blower POW days. Again, I feel like I took the skills that I kind of progressed from Canada and was able to bring them back to some of my home mountains like Deer Valley and Park City. Skied some areas and lines that I've never really skied before. Deer Valley.
I think I see a little spot I'm gonna try. It's a little ballsy. I think there's a big enough gap.
Copy.
Had one of the sickest tree runs of my life at Park City that still to this day I get accused of it getting sped up and stuff like that. But yeah, just something that was kind of mind-blowing and something I probably won't do again.
I don't want to get in the way of your shot. You go ahead and then I'll go ahead.
All good.
Wow, that was an absolutely moving tree line.
And then to cap it all off, I had a Deer Valley powder day with, honestly, my mentor, someone who I think is just absolutely superb at what they do. Abe Kislevitz was in town, and we had some fresh snow, and yeah, spent the day skiing Deer Valley, kind of did my best to show him some zones, hit some cliffs, but all around just kind of continue to pad that sort of whole experience of POW days, skiing with people, and just all around progressing my skiing.
What are your opinions on Deer Valley?
The snow is unreal. Very fun. We're doing our best to try to poke our way and find the continuous lines in the trees. And we found some really fun trees, nicely spaced. Not the steepest stuff in the world, but really fun.
And I think literally a day after that ski day with Abe, Deer Valley hit me up and asked if I wanted to go experience the new terrain that Deer Valley is opening. I think it's called East Village. And they were like, call time is 6 a.m., boots on. So I remember driving up to Deer Valley in the pitch dark, and I had my ski boots on at like 5:45 in the morning or 5:50 in the morning.
I realize that might be hard to see, but 5:43 in the morning, this is by far the earliest that I have ever had ski boots on my feet.
And while it wasn't like anything super crazy, it was just really cool to be a part of the whole thing and being one of the first people to sort of ski over there really before like the mountain's not even open. So we kind of loaded into a cat. We had a film crew. We had Deer Valley athletes, Ted Liggety. And I was just kind of there as like the YouTuber, I think, just like filming and documenting the runs and all that sort of stuff. So to be a part of that, to see the sort of back end side of that, but also just be like, yeah, go ski this sort of fresh POW, you know, no one's skied it before run was pretty sick. So to kind of, yeah, be one of the people to do that again, just felt honored to represent a company like Deer Valley, somehow and as prestigious as them, and have their trust and faith in the Stoke Squad.
So,
and all the way down or
yeah,
midway?
we're gonna have you guys do a full run. We're gonna have both drones in the air.
Okay.
You'll be getting one shot for on this first pitch.
Okay.
And then the main focus will be for the drones as you go further.
Go down. Okay. So nice and tight all the way down.
Yep. Okay. And you guys stay pretty close.
Okay. So basically just right fall line?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Oh. 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 Whoa! Wow! Oh! Yeah! And one of the final major months of the ski season, March, we got invited by CMH to go back up to British Columbia Golden for a 3-day heli skiing trip. If you guys remember the year before, the heli skiing didn't really work out because of weather, but this time we had some insane bluebird conditions, albeit it was very warm. I'm talking like 40, 50, even 60 degrees.
The biggest concern with this weekend is the temperatures. Avalanche danger is quite high. It's supposed to be 50 degrees-ish, so I think it's going to be kind of variable in terms of snow conditions and what we get ourselves into, but the whole experience is kind of what we're after. It should be a beautiful day to get in a helicopter up in the mountains. But
the whole experience was, again, one of those surreal things where I have to pinch myself, like, how did I get here? What is this all about? Why would someone do this for me and what I do? It just is, yeah, it's still, I don't think I'll ever get used to stuff like that, but basically got flown up to Calgary to spend a few days with Abe Kislevitz, Caleb Farrow, Zadie LaRouche, and then Red Bull athlete and his sister who skis for Monster, Burke and Svea Irving, amongst a lot of other people, and just had 3 days of insane heli skiing in the Purcell Mountains. Was next level. Beautiful conditions, and even with the warm temperatures and the extreme avalanche danger, we still got into some really soft snow, some really cool terrain. And again, it's the experience for me that's just so wild. The skiing is insane. Being a part of stuff like that, just for me, just doesn't really ever feel real. So to have like 3 days of heli skiing up there and just being surrounded by those types of people and those athletes, again, it's just those moments that all add up over time that, one, make you the person you are now, and also, yeah, just helps my skiing progress to that, just continue progressing to the next level.
Hot dog schnoodler.
All right, we're gonna see Burke do a little jump. First jump of the day. Schnoodle that shit.
Top schnoodle action.
We are high elevation up here. We got some softer snow. High L schnoo.
Let's go, Burke.
Send it, Burke.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I shot in slow-mo. I didn't need to.
That was insane.
Yeah, we'll straight air.
And this is typically the part of the ski season where I start to get burnt out and just, yeah, not as excited to ski. At this point, I've been skiing October, November, December, February, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, making videos, all that sort of stuff. So it is easy for me to get burnt out come the end of the year, which is something I am gonna be working on this year. But we couldn't let the ski season die totally. And in just like, I'm not even surprised type of fashion, May 7th, we had another POW day at Snowbird. I know, I don't even think it's believable. I know I didn't really believe it at the time, but whatever reason, a storm came in up in Little Conwood, and we had a legit full-on winter, full layers on, no visibility, POW day up at Snowbird. May 7th.
I'm saying upwards of like 40 inches here. I was like, it's not every day that you get a May powder day at the Bird up in Little Cottonwood. So kind of braved the weather, the conditions, and made it up here, which pretty gnarly as I expected, but all is well here.
And you don't gotta ask me twice. Bring the White Walker 116s out and just ski some POW. I don't even think the whole mountain was open, but during May when there's no one there, it doesn't even really matter.
May 6th, guys, can't get over it. Like full-on winter skiing, and after you get off Proven, you can kind of just cut hard across and get to kind of like the cirque. So I'm literally standing below Great Scott. This is kind of a tree line that I would ski straight down. So you get about half of it, but not a lot of people are skiing out here, so very low visibility, but cannot complain. Woohoo! Oh! Woohoo! Yeah! Oh! Oh, that was sick as shit! Hell yeah! Bro, that's where it's at, dude!
I saw you just fucking disappear.
Oh, that was so fun.
Then to wrap it all up, May 27th, I believe it was Memorial Day weekend, we went to Snowbird closing day, which was just, you know, cool to be in a closing day. Proud of myself for going from an opening day to a closing day, albeit there was some like rest time in between, but kind of a way to actually formally close the season off, closing day of my favorite mountain. The year that I skied Snowbird the most out of any year in my life, and just, yeah, the year that I feel like I got some of the best skiing for a normal average ski year of my life. So got to send off, you know, we were skiing Great Scott right up till closing day, which is always sick. Again, showcases and reinforces my opinion that Little Cottonwood is the best skiing, definitely in the US, and, you know, I would rank it amongst the best in the entire world. So had some fun closing day stuff to kind of transition myself as the last day on snow for the year and kind of the kickoff of the summer months.
Literally not.
It's a nice little shot. And that is it, squad. The 2023-2024 season here at Snowbird has come to an end. It was an incredible season. Over 600 inches of snow puts them at an above average year, which is super rad. Massive thank you to Snowbird for staying open this long, and just all of Ski Utah in general for providing such an incredible experience, not only for myself, but for you guys who visit here or people who live here. Like every time I talk to someone who has visited the Bird or anywhere in Utah, there's just really nothing but good things to say. So not any place is perfect, but I think Snowbird is one of those places that's pretty damn close to it. So
I think the TLDR of kind of the whole season was comparing it to the year before, which was absolutely insane, just really wasn't fair, and I don't think is something you can do going forward. And I think that helped me keep my expectations in check. I've been skiing for 26, almost 27 years now. So I've seen some of the best years, and I've seen years that are absolutely horrible, and just about everything else in between. And I think last year was a very good representation of an average and even a little bit above average year. But I think it just goes to show that, yeah, November and even in December can be pretty dry, but that doesn't always provide some sort of leading indicator for what's to come with the rest of the season. The beautiful part about the West, and especially Utah, is that everything can change literally overnight. A 2-3 day storm cycle that drops 80 inches can honestly completely revamp the ski season. And I think last year was good to remind people what a ski season is like, and that really January and February are those months that the stuff really turns up and you can really be greeted with those 12, 15, 18 inch storms kind of on a consistent basis. So I hope you guys kind of enjoyed the recap video. I know it's long, but it's really cool to kind of put together and also kind of highlights the start of the return of ski videos here to the channel. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me. And yeah, just the support that you guys show me is absolutely unbelievable, and it's truly humbling kind of looking back at it, and just can't thank you guys enough, truly from the bottom of my heart. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks, Snow. I'll see you guys in the next episode, next video. Take it easy, fam. Peace out.